What's going on, Taurus? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of December 28th through January 3rd of 2020. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. I appreciate you so much for being here. We have a big full moon this week taking place in your third house, along with Venus in your eighth house squaring Neptune, and a Mars coming out of shadow. So let's take a look. I would say that the big deal is this full moon, because this is the first time we've had a moon in Cancer without Jupiter, without Saturn in a long time. 3 years with, Saturn was in Capricorn in this opposition. So this is definitely new. We had eclipses there over the last, couple years. So again, this is a new cycle, and it's really purging of what doesn't feel aligned emotionally within your environment, what's stimulating you. And I think that it's having you really express the emotions. Get the stuff off your chest. If there's something that you're holding on to that isn't taking you into something exciting, it's time to release that, especially with Jupiter and Saturn in your 10th. There's like new career goals, there's new opportunities, and sometimes you just have to take the risk, and you got to be able to express the risk that you do want. Neptune is interesting here in your 11th house. It's squaring the nodes, but now we have Venus that's squaring this week on the south node. Of course, the north node in square too. Venus gets pretty comfortable on the south node, but that south node in your 8th house is like, it's time to stop holding on to whatever you're obsessing about and release that. And this could be past relationships. This could be past issues of dealing with money, dealing with contracts with other people. What do you want to merge with that's going to actually make you feel good? Remember, Venus is the ruler of your chart. So this is a big deal, and it's going to affect, if you're a Taurus rising, it's going to affect that first house. So your identity, what's the identity that's going to make you feel the best? And do you have to release an old one to feel good? Do you have to release old relationships to feel good? It might feel comfortable to stay in that old story, but the 8th house is the house of death and rebirth. So I think there's a rebirth of value that's taking place, and it's going to come through an interesting Neptune squaring the nodes of like, you could miss the chance if you're not doing things different. If you're just going to let like your uniqueness pass you by, like you got to step into the uniqueness. You can't just play old in this energy. It's time for like youthful, stimulating energy, and what isn't of that needs to go. Mercury here in Capricorn as well, so there's a lot of 9th house stuff going on. Definitely like expanding and opening doors in your life. Well, that Mercury is going to sextile that Neptune. So you're trying to open up and expand your mind and like look for more information, but you have to be able to express it. You can't get lost, and you can't like give up your individuality. You got to make sure that you're moving forward into a better place, a hopeful place. And it's not like a spell that you can't have that. You just have to understand it and be able to put it to action. It's hard too with a Mars in the 12th, putting that to action. That Mars is going to come out of shadow this week in your 12th house. So you're almost into a Mars in your first, which I think will be good for you guys, because that retrograde of having Mars in the 12th is difficult. What do I put my action to? What do I put my energy into? It can be difficult there, but I think you're going to get some insight into exactly what those goals are, what the new future holds, and how to step into that new energy and not, hold on to the old energy too much longer. That would be the easy way out. I think it's time to do things different with all the squares to Neptune and all the aspects to Neptune. So it's time to act on the intuition, I would say, especially with Neptune being involved. Like there's insight coming in, and you're sensitive to it. It's trying to show you how to break away from old habits and old things that aren't bringing you the ultimate value. Wow, the Tower card reversed. It could feel like a lot of things are going on right now. You have Jupiter and Saturn, squaring your home sign. If you have, if you're a Taurus sun, you have a lot to deal with Jupiter and Saturn. And it could feel like, you can feel a big change coming, but it's like, if you embrace the change, you can really step into a new world that's actually better. Like you don't have to like sit and try and pick up all the pieces of the tower. Like let that tower die off and let the new story, the new goals, the new, mission take place, if you will. Step into that story. It's like a new career time, especially with Jupiter and Saturn in your 10th house for the next 20 years. Like time to go after what you want to create in life. And you can only do that if you find that stability within yourself and you're able to communicate it and release energy that isn't bringing you some sort of like twin-like energy and isn't stimulating you, because it's new, it's stimulating. So let's step into that. I love you very much, Taurus. I hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.